Dear friends, I, Dr. Sayyeda Sara, welcome you in Anatomy Student Zone with another topic, that is anterior compartment of thigh. So in a previous lecture, I told you how thigh region is divided into different compartments. I covered already that there are the three facial septa that are passing from the inner aspect of deep facial sheath of thigh, and that is a fascia lata. So after arising from fascia lata, these fibrous septa get attached to linea aspera of a femur bone, and this arrangement divides thigh into three compartments. Each compartment is having its own muscles, its own nerves and the arteries. So the compartments are anterior, medial and posterior in position in a region of thigh. In this lecture, I am going to cover the anterior compartment of a thigh. Few things I will explain in this compartment. These are femoral sheath, femoral canal, femoral triangle and the muscles of anterior compartment with their detailed anatomy. So right now I will cover the femoral sheath and the femoral canal, and the next part of this series that I am going to cover, I will also cover the muscles of the anterior compartment and the femoral triangle, but in the next part. So I will recommend whenever you are going to feel difficulty in understanding what I am saying, you can replay that part, and I am sure after you will listen this content second time, this will be more clear to you because it's just game of neurons how you are going to use them. So let's start with the femoral sheath first. So I will tell you how this sheath is formed, what's its superior extent, what's the inferior extent of this sheath, mean from where it's going to start and where this sheath will end. I will also explain you its content, its compartments and the clinical that are related to this. So here I am going to answer all questions that I have told you right now. So the femoral sheath is a funnel-shaped structure. You can observe this green funnel-shaped structure in this image. So this is a femoral sheath. So another green structure shown here, this is an inguinal ligament. We are not concerned with that of inguinal ligament right now, so just focus on a femoral sheath. So anatomically, this funnel-shaped structure is made up of a fascia. So I can say this is a fascial sheath. So we can also observe in this image that this fascial sheath or its fascia is extending from lower abdomen into thigh. So it's continuous superiorly with the fascia of abdomen that we name as fascia transversalis and the iliacus fascia, and inferiorly it extends towards the apex of the femoral triangle in a region of thigh. It is continuous superiorly with the fascia of abdomen that we name as transversalis fascia and iliaca fascia. So inferiorly it extends towards the apex of the femoral triangle in the region of thigh. So it means it's going to extend till the femoral triangle and its apex. In superior extent, it's not just enough to answer that this sheath is continuous superiorly with the fascia of abdomen that I have mentioned, fascia transversalis and the fascia iliaca. The answer will not be wrong, but the best answer is superiorly. This sheath is having two walls, and these walls are anterior wall and the posterior wall. So its anterior wall is continuous above with the fascia transversalis, and the posterior wall is continuous with the fascia iliaca. So again, look into a funnel-shaped structure in this image. We can see a femoral sheath, so we can also observe its anterior and the posterior wall in this image, and we can see anterior wall is continuous above with the fascia transversalis and the posterior wall is continuous with the fascia iliaca. So in this way it is attached superiorly with these fascia of abdomen. These are the fascia of lower abdomen. So now I will tell you the inferior extent of the femoral sheath. Already covered this point that this is going to extend towards the thigh, towards the apex of the femoral triangle. And remember, in the region of femoral triangle, this femoral sheath ends by fusing with the adventitia of our vessels. And these are the vessels which are present in the femoral triangle. We know these are the femoral artery and the femoral vein. So this is going to fuse with these adventitia of these vessels. So dear friend, remember that the femoral sheath doesn't cover the femoral nerve. So femoral nerve is outside this sheath. So it is not a content or a structure of this sheath that it's going to cover. So the femoral sheath is going to cover just the femoral vessels, which include femoral artery, vein, and besides vessel, this sheath is also going to cover the lymphatics, but femoral nerve is outside this sheath. So another important point is we all know the femoral artery and the vein, it goes downward into a thigh, but remember femoral sheath is not going to extend into a mid or a lower thigh. Now the question arises up till where this sheath is going to end. So I am going to answer this right now. So if we are going 2.5 centimeter below the inguinal ligament, this sheath ends. And I have told you it ends by fusing with the adventitia of these vessels. So again, look into this image. This is an inguinal ligament. And if you will go 2.5 centimeter below this ligament, this sheath will end. And this sheath will end again, I am repeating, by fusing with the adventitia of a vessel which are present in the region of a femoral triangle. After covering the superior and the inferior extent of this sheath, another important point is there are the thin fibrous septa that divide the femoral sheath into three compartments. And these are lateral compartment of femoral sheath, intermediate compartment, and the medial compartment. So I am telling you here about the compartment of femoral sheath, not the thigh. So here don't confuse it with thigh because most of the students used to do this in exam. So these are compartments of femoral sheath. So femoral artery, as it enters the thigh beneath the inguinal ligament, it occupies the lateral compartment of sheath. It means the artery is the lateral most. So femoral vein, when it leaves the thigh, it is a medial to artery, but in the femoral sheath, it occupies the intermediate compartment. So artery is lateral. In intermediate compartment, we are having femoral vein, and the lymph vessel occupy the most medial compartment. So we can see the femoral nerve doesn't occupy the femoral sheath, so it's not a content already described. Now I will tell you about the femoral canal, femoral ring, its clinical significance. So femoral canal is a small medial compartment of femoral sheath, and this compartment is for lymph vessels. So the medial most compartment of the femoral sheath that contains the lymph vessel, I can say this is a femoral canal, and it is just about 0.5 inches, 1.3 centimeter long. It is a very small medial compartment. Its upper opening is named as the femoral ring. So upper opening of femoral canal is femoral ring. We can also identify the femoral canal here with the lymph vessels passing through it, and its upper end is femoral ring. Femoral ring, its anatomy, relation, everything is very, very important clinically. So you can't skip it. If you will cover its anatomy, concepts, and the clinical will easy for you, and the clinical that are related to this is femoral hernia. And we know the hernia occurs at the potentially weak area. It means there is some potentially weak area in this region. What that structure is, we will see that later on. So the relations of the femoral ring are very, very important, not only just for exam point of view, but also to understand the femoral hernia as well. So the femoral ring has the following important relation. Anteriorly, there is an inguinal ligament. Laterally, there is a femoral vein. Posteriorly, superior ramus of a pubis, but we can't see that in this image. So medially, there is a lacunar ligament. So the lacunar ligament is, as name indicates, lacunar or a half moon shaped ligament. This is a triangular ligament, and this ligament is formed, remember, by the medial fibers of the inguinal ligament, and also fiber from the deep fascia of thigh also contributes in a lacunar ligament. So this is a femoral ring. This is normally closed, and the reason for the closure of the femoral ring is femoral septum. So the femoral septum, if it's asked in exam, it is just a condensation of extraperitoneal tissue, and so it plugs this opening of a femoral ring and it closes the ring. That's why when we are going to do the content of the femoral canal, we also mention that it contains the fatty connective tissue. Besides, we know its content are the lymphatic vessel. Because this is covered by means of that extraperitoneal tissue, so it's also content of that. So now I will tell you the answer of this question: why femoral hernia occur in the medial most compartment, why femoral hernia are more common in a female. And the reason for this is this medial most compartment doesn't adhere to the wall of small lymph vessel, like we had seen that the femoral sheath was going to adhere with the adventitia of a blood vessel. So it was going to blend inferiorly with these vessels. This femoral canal is not going to fuse with the wall of a lymph vessel. Again, I am going to say wall of a lymph vessels. So because of a non-adherence to the wall of a small lymph vessel, this is a site or it is a potentially weak area. So that's why the hernia occur here. This weak area is more, I can say, this is more wide in the female because the femoral canal is more wide in the female. Pelvis is also wide in a female. Therefore, the femoral hernia are more common in female as compared to males. Now I will explain you the mechanism, how the hernial content move here and how the femoral hernia are going to present clinically. So whenever the abdominal viscera or a part of intestine or the peritoneum, it protrudes into a femoral triangle from abdomen, it protrudes into this weak area. The reason I explained you already. So it could be forced down the femoral canal, and when this peritoneum or a part of intestine is going to force down, it pushes the femoral septum forward or before it. So these hernial content tries to escape through the lower end of a femoral canal, but they can't escape through the lower end. Now here another question arises, why hernial content can't escape through the lower part and why they are going to form a swelling just in the upper part of thigh. Its anatomical reason is that the lower end of the femoral canal is normally closed, and this is closed by the adherence of its wall to the tunica adventitia of a femoral vein. Again, I am saying with the femoral vein, not with the lymphatics, because adventitia is not going to fuse with the lymphatics. So when it can't escape, of course, it expands there and it forms swelling in the upper part of a thigh, and this swelling is deep to the deep fascia. It further expands, and if further expansion occur, hernial sac will move, of course, upward, because I told you lower end of the femoral canal is closed, it can't escape through the lower part. So the hernia turns upward and it crosses the anterior surface of the inguinal ligament, and therefore the femoral hernia, the neck of sac, lies below and lateral to pubic tubercle. This point is very, very important. On this basis, we are going to distinguish the femoral hernia with that of inguinal hernia, because inguinal hernia are above and medial to pubic tubercle, while the femoral are below and lateral to the pubic tubercle. So although the femoral hernia, they just account for 2 to 4% of hernia. They are less common that of inguinal. Inguinal are more common, but these hernia are more common in female. Reason I have told you initially, because of a wider canal and because of wider pelvis. So in a femoral hernia, the neck of sac is narrow, and this lies at the level of femoral ring. So the femoral hernia, if it's strangulated, this condition should be treated surgically, and this is an emergency. So in a strangulation, because of why this strangulation is going to occur, this is going to occur because of rigid boundaries of the femoral ring. And the boundaries of the femoral ring, I have told you in anatomy section. I have already told you they are very important. You can't skip this because they are having great clinical significance. We have seen this because these are the rigid boundaries, so they can lead to the strangulation of sac as well. So I am repeating that again. The ring is related anteriorly to inguinal ligament, posteriorly superior ramus of pubis, and medially lacunar ligament. Laterally we are having femoral vein. So because of these anatomical structure and the boundaries of the ring, the neck of sac is unable to expand. It can't expand over there. So besides this ring prevents its expansion, it also causes the blood vessel compression as well by means of femoral ring. So if the blood vessels are affected, whenever the patient is going to strain or a cuff, femoral hernia can strangulate, so it can be dangerous. So dear doctor, it is very important to consider the differential diagnosis of a femoral hernia, because after covering its anatomy, you know there are the other anatomical structure which are present close to the inguinal ligament. For example, inguinal canal is also close to inguinal ligament. Great saphenous vein is also present in the upper region of thigh. Sauce sheath is also there. The femoral artery is also present close to the inguinal ligament. So we have to rule out all these factors in order to make confirmed diagnosis of a femoral hernia. because it can be a case that there is a localized dilatation of a terminal part of great saphenous vein and you are going to confuse it with that of femoral hernia. And this can also be a case that there is a tuberculous infection of a lumbar vertebrae and it's resulting in the extravasation of a pus down into a saucer shape into a thigh, and it's presenting like a swelling above and below the inguinal ligament. Again, we can confuse it with that of a femoral hernia. So dear friend, that was all about the femoral sheath, its clinical importance, all exam questions and the concept related to that. In the next part of this video, I will cover the thigh compartment. I will cover first its muscle and later on I will cover the femoral triangle, because we can't understand the femoral triangle without covering the muscles of anterior compartment of thigh. So first I will go for muscle and later on I will cover the femoral triangle. Till then, thanks for watching. Hit on bell icon. Don't forget to comment, subscribe and like this channel. Thank you so much.